Hello everyone. In this video we'll be taking a look at a scenario where civilization starts over. We're on episode 31 now, and in last video we saw many stuff happen, but the big main event was the start of World War One, as we see over here, as the Russian nation right here, as we see, they invaded the Nordic Union's alliance, and that triggered basically a very big war, as we see here, and basically almost every continent is and is involved right now except Africa and Australia, I guess, if you count that as its own continents. But in this video we'll be seeing this big war spread out even more and become larger. You'll also see some other stuff happen. But yeah, if you enjoyed this series so far, consider liking and subscribing, as I'm on the road to 150 subscribers by the end of this year. But now let's get into the video. But first of all, we need to talk about Russia's economical lines they have here. As we see, it of course has Russia. We see that but first of all, we need to talk about Russia's economical lines. So of course it has Russia, we see it has Finland, Ukraine and Romania here. Now Finland is helping Russia in this war, as you see, they're invading the Nordic Union. But what I'm most focused on right now is Ukraine and Romania. Now both of these nations have kinda good relations with Russia at the moment. Ukraine have positive relations and Romania here has neutral relations. So it's kinda 50-50 if they join or not. But Ukraine, they're shifting on joining on Russia's side, but the only reason they haven't done so is because they don't really see it worth it. I mean, they won't get anything out of this war at the moment, so that's why they're staying out. Meanwhile, I believe all of Sweden's economic alliance is involved, as if we take a look at the military alliance. Yeah, it's a big war that has started. So let's get into this war then. So starting up here in the front between Finland and the Nordic Union here, we'll be seeing the Nordic Union push them back fully, as I mean, really, Finland doesn't really stand a good chance here. Russia doesn't have any troops located in this part of Finland's claim in Sweden, so we'll be seeing this part fall really quick. And followed by that, we'll see the Nordic Union starting a tiny front into Finland itself before we see the Russians. They'll be actually pushing up into the mountains up here, taking a lot of valuable oil, I believe, that exists over here, and other minerals. But looking down south over at Germany, we'll be seeing them for the first time in history, I believe, march troops into the Russian area. But now looking a bit south over at Germany, we'll be seeing them for the first time ever, I believe, march troops into Russia, as Germany has been actually an historical ally to Russia, as Russia is the only reason Germany is independent if you look back in ancient times. Germany used to be a part of France, and France was huge and had all of Germany, of course. Russia was another country that was up here, and they supported the German rebellion and basically helped the Germans survive. But now the Germans are marching foot into Russia, and that is kind of weird because Germany doesn't really want this, but they have to because they're in an alliance with the Nordic Union, and Russia kinda knew Germany would get involved, but Russia did the attack anyways. So it's kinda, you know, but this front will continue before it stalls, as we see Russian reinforcement reach the front. Take a look at the major cities here. We see that Germany has captured 2 major cities and is sieging one right now, but they will win that battle. So there we go. And yeah, so this war, it's gone pretty big already. I mean, there are a lot of powerful nations involved, including Russia, the Nordic Union, Germany, Finland. We have Mongolia, and of course the South American bloc over here. So it's a big war if you think that, but it's not big in numbers yet. But yeah, it will grow in numbers, as we now see another nation join the war, and this time on the Nordic Union side. So looking here, we'll be seeing Iberia join the Nordic Union side alongside Morocco here, and this is a big surprise as we now see a front start in Iberia, one of the most oldest or ancient places where wars happen in the world right now. And yeah, Portugal was not prepared for this invasion as Iberia storms through here, or not Iberia, but Blue Spain, I guess. So we just see them storm through here and obliterate the Portuguese really fast with Morocco help. But, but now looking away from America, but now looking away from Europe slash North America, we'll be looking over at Europe. We'll be seeing Brazil make a very big decision that will change the course of this war, and it will be the invasion of Colombia, I think this is, or Central America nation. And the reason they do this is because they want control over this area right here, and that will help them a lot in this war, as that means they can like easily move like that. So I know they can just move through the puppet state, but Brazil just thinks that this is better. Plus Brazil can get more land from it, so that's why they're doing this, land and resources. So Brazil will continue the invasion into here, but I said that this action will change the course of the war, and the reason I said this is because if we take a look at this alliance right here, we'll be seeing it officially join the war on the Nordic Union side, and yeah, this is huge as we now basically, yeah, North America is now involved. So we basically see that this Mexican or South Mexican nation now sends forces down here, pushing the Brazilians back, and these guys take back that city and just push them back over here. And yeah, this helped the Colombian nation a lot. But now looking up here, we'll be seeing the Mexicans do a naval landing. So we'll see it happen right here. They land here and then spread out really fast, taking this major city before doing a massive encirclement right here of like 1000 troops, I say, before spreading around the coastal areas again, before trying to do a spearhead like that to take this major city as well. While that happens, we see them do another spearhead like over here, trying to do something like that, but it halts as we see blue Mexicans push them back a lot, all the way to the front even here, and even breaking this area, so those troops survive. And the fronts now look something like this. Looking away from there, we'll be seeing some more nations join this war, this time in Africa, as we see some enemies against Brazil join. So we see this nation, we see this nation, and this nation. So 3 nations join the war here, that only because Brazil is in the war and they hate Brazil. So yeah, this nation, it's obvious they hate Brazil. I mean, Brazil took their land. So yeah, but we see this nation quickly attack and take over these areas. And the only reason they managed to do this is because Brazil hasn't protected these areas at all. It's not protected very good. Looking up back at Europe here, we'll be seeing that this frontage continues as the Spanish continue pushing right through here. And it's really no stop as they are now cut in 3 pieces. Turning off the lines real quick so I can see better, we see that the Spanish are now closing in on the Portuguese capital. These 2 areas surrender over as we now see the basically final push like that. But the Portuguese flee over to this major city, and it doesn't take long till the Spanish reach it as well. And then we'll see the Portuguese fall over. And that was a kind of big blow to the Russians, as that was their only foothold in Iberia, or that could access the ocean easily. So we kind of see Russia's morale get destroyed a little bit, but that doesn't matter as we see them push right through into Sweden here, capturing their second major city in this war. Finland pushes back right here before doing a naval assault and landing right here and taking this major city, and that basically causes the whole front over here in North Sweden just crumble as the Russians just, yeah, they rain down here. There's not really much you can do once the Russians get speed, and yeah, so the fronts look like this. There's a clear winner, of course, in this front, that being Russia and Finland. But down here we see that Germany, they're also continuing their just offensive right into Russia, taking a bunch of major cities like that, and yeah, they have captured a lot of major cities and destroyed a lot of infrastructure in Russia. But now looking over at Asia here, we'll be seeing some nations join sides, so let's take a look at that. So these here are the new nations that are joining. We see that China joined, Japan, South China, the Philippines, India, this South Persian nation, I guess Persia or Iran, the Middle Eastern nation, Yemen, and Ethiopia slash Somalia. They are the new nations that joined this war. So let's take a look at the Asian front over here. So over here we'll be seeing that the Philippines, they will be doing and landing in Taiwan here, taking over the whole island as China didn't really care much about it. They just wanted it because, I mean, free land. So that's why they took it, and because they wanted to turn it into a naval base. But that didn't go as good as, I mean, World War Two just started, so they didn't have time to prepare. But South China here, they are storming right through China here, and that is a big achievement for them, I'd say. As China, they're not a very strong nation anymore, but they are still up there, I'd say. Mongolia here, they will try to not do as much of an offensive as they want to do an defensive, as they don't really want to risk people dying. But again, they need to have naval access as they are landlocked. So they're kind of forced to invade China here, as if they can get China to surrender, they are free gain into the ocean. And in the peace treaty, it would look weird, but Mongolia would get a lot of sea access. So we see Mongolia push through right here. And yeah, the war has already expanded across the whole world, and I'm in 13 minutes recording time. This has gone fast, but the video is not ending yet, as this war is continuing. Looking up here, we'll be seeing that the Nordic Union is now pushing back against the Russians and the Finnish, and yeah, the war is starting to look better for the Nordic Union now. But looking up here, we'll be seeing the the blue Mexicans. They will be fully pushing the original Mexicans out, and then sending a naval convoy or naval convoy and landing over here and invading into Alaska or Canada. This invasion will go very great, as they just need to take the capital and boom, this whole nation is ready to surrender. Just come on, who's going to, yeah. So but we'll see Alaska being annoying and not surrender as their government flees deeper into the nation into this major city right here, being defended by the dark brown team, red team nation as well. And yeah, this war, it's starting to grow, and more fighting is happening. Looking at North America still, we'll see another nation join, this time that being the nation of Florida here. And the only reason Florida joins is to attack the main American nation, I guess you could say. And it's because these guys were involved in Florida's downfall. I mean, Florida was huge before they had like want to build something like that. But now instead they are just the Florida Panhandle or whatever it's called. So we'll see them just do this because they want more land and historical land at that. We'll also see them make a landing in Mexico right here and take some land. And yeah, this war is starting to grow very huge. But one front we haven't looked at is down here, where we basically see that yeah, the Middle Eastern nation don't really care about defending this area right now, as they need to deal with an angry Iran here that seeks revenge and old land. So Iran just blitz through their defenses over here in the north and takes over all of the Caspian coast. And yeah, then they spread out across the front, and now it looks something like that. And the Middle Eastern nation is retreating back to this line right here. It's like an invisible defensive line. And Iran is just, yeah, then they reach this invincible or invisible line, and it just stops, their offensive stops, and they can't really fight anymore against them, but they'll push up to the Turkish border like that. This is the farthest like west they have reached in a long time. But we see that Iran will call in their good buddy Caspia into the war as well, and that will cause another nation to join, that being the nation of Kazakhstan and Caucasia. So now we have more nations joining, of other nations joining. So it will, but Iran was prepared for this and invades into Kazakhstan like the day they join. So does Caspia here, as they also send troops through the border and spread out across the whole border like that. While that happens, we see that Russia needs to mobilize some troops down here and force them into Caucasia here and taking a bunch of land. And this is starting to come to the stage where people are getting PTSD. Like the same thing happened in World War One, where just nations joined that wanted Russian land and wanted to destroy Russian allies. And most of those nations were bordering Russia, and that caused Russia to split their army thin, and that caused their downfall, then rebellion, and then you know how it played out. As yeah, this is not the same Russia that was in World War One. This is another Russia, a new Russian Empire. And yeah, so Kazakhstan, they want to destroy Russia at all costs. They were also one of those nations that carry a lot, kind of huge piece of Russian land. I think it was like all that is Russian originally. And yeah, so they send in troops here, capture two major cities, but they can't really do anything else, as Caspia here, they're still exploding through Kazakhstan here and taking land left and right, major cities like that. And yeah, Russia even does a tiny little bit offensive into here and pushes these guys back. And this offensive was just to like hurt Kazakhstan, not anything else. By looking at this front, Mongolia, they're going to have a very happy day, as they just, yeah, Kazakhstan has really no match against Mongolia if we look at power rankings. And their capital gets captured in some weeks of this conflict between them starting, and this whole lake gets surrounded by Mongolia, and yeah, Mongolia has now basically captured the leadership of Kazakhstan and now is moving them back to their capital to face execution or trial or something like that. And yeah, this war has had a lot of fronts already, and it's just starting too. This is the first part of World War II, and I'm planning on having 6 videos dedicated to World War II. Yep, this war is 6 videos long. That's a lot. And yeah, but you guessed it, this is the end of the video. If you enjoyed this video so far, consider liking and subscribing. Comment down below which side you are voting on and who you think will win this war. And yeah, That will be all. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.